and Roshan for organizing this satsang. And yeah, it's very nice to meet you all. I came to should I talk in Hindi? Yes. So मैं बुदापेस्ट आया था 2 साल पहले अतुंदा और आप लोग सब ने एक बड़ा सत्संग ऑर्गेनाइज किया था. फिर उसके बाद मैं रिसेंटली म्यूनिक आया तो मुझे मतलब जयवल्दा से बात कर रहा था तो फिर ये मतलब उन्होंने बताया सत्संग के बारे में तो मैं सोचा कि बुदापेस्ट फिर से एक बार होके आता हूँ घूम के. So it's very nice to see you all. I mean, it's such a lovely feeling, right? Like so much love everyone has. And it's not just, I mean, here or particular places, but everywhere I have been, I feel that the satsang, I mean the community, so we always, I feel this love everywhere. I remember, so before coming to Germany, Munich, so I just moved to Munich. I used to live in UK, I went there for my PhD. And when I went there, it was COVID time, so I went in late 2020. And I remember that even when we go to COVID at that time, go to UK at the time, we had to do this home quarantine for 2 weeks. So even before I arrived, some Guru Bhais or Satsangis, they came in contact with me and they had already left groceries for my 2 weeks of home quarantine before I even arrived. So they left like this huge box of groceries. Recently, I mean, today I saw Momitama in this chat call, right? So recently I was talking to a student who just went to Glasgow for her studies. And she was saying that before she went, like Momitama texted her and she was telling that Momitama went to pick her up in the airport before she arrived. So this type of love that satsangis show to every other person, it's not just satsangis, but anyone around, right? Like they feel that it's part of our life, right? Giving service to others in any way possible. And this is, I feel that this has, we feel this way because Thakur was this way, right? So we take Thakur as our guru, our ideal in our life. So someone who look up to for inspiration, for see how we should be, right? And Thakur in his own life was like that. So there are so many incidents, even in Thakur's childhood. I remember, so when Thakur was around 5 years old and he just started going to school, the local village school, he saw in the winter he used to see many like classmates of him who were very poor and who didn't have proper clothes. So often, I mean, he would just give away his own clothes and come home naked from school because he used to love about them and care about them so much, and he couldn't see their suffering. So he gave all of his clothes away. Like, I mean, there's this incident of Thakur's from his 10th class, right? He was about to go to give his matriculation exam, and Thakur's family was also not very well off. His father was very sick all throughout his childhood, and his mother barely got their house like going. And at the time for the matriculation exam, you had to give this like extra fees to give the exam. I mean, there was a proper exam and you had to. And with a lot of effort, Thakur's mother and Thakur, they had collected the fees. And on the way to the examination, like for the registration, Thakur met one of his friends, one of his classmates, and he was sad and crying because he couldn't afford it. He was much poorer. And so Thakur gave up his own fees to his friend, and Thakur never actually gave his matriculation exam. I mean, so these are some specific incidents, but all throughout Thakur's life, he was like this. There's this small incident, another one comes to my mind. When Thakur was a kid, one day it was raining extremely heavily, right? And he was running home from school. And on the way, there was this bird, I think it was a crow, who was unable to fly, and in that, just like sat on Thakur's shoulder, right? Like unable to fly. And so Thakur stood there until the rain got less and the crow could fly away again. So even for simple animals, he had this kind of love. And I mean, we do this satsang and we try to know about Thakur, like his personality. So all these books we were reading, some of them are about discussions about things Thakur said. And some of the books are about Thakur's own life and incidents from his life. So we read them because we want to like inculcate some of those qualities in our own personality. So there is this famous, I mean, Thakur used to say often, I think other people also might have heard it, is that even a small droplet of dew on a leaf can reflect the sun. Right? So Similarly, our own lives, if we are pure and if our personality is pure, then we can also reflect that type of personality in our own actions and character. So those, that type of love, that type of behavior with our everyone around us and so on. And I mean, it's awesome to join you all today. Like the Dada on the call from Canada, he was talking about his experience from going to Devghar, and I hope that you also get an opportunity to go to Devghar. I was recently there, and so I mean, I have never seen Thakur with my own eyes, like in his physical form, or Thakur Burma Borda on the left. But I've seen Acharya Dev. So we have on the extreme right the picture of Acharya Dev, who the Dada was talking about in some of the incidents. And I mean, I see him and like his behavior, how he talks to people, how he kind of understands the issues sometimes people tell him and answers them. I mean, we get to learn so much. So one thing he always emphasizes on being like, he's a very practical person. So sometimes like some students come up to him and like say, oh, I'm trying for this exam and I'm not being able to succeed, or someone going to give an exam, like 12th exam or some important exam in their life, and come for advice. And for students, he would often give the advice that, which we all have heard, but it's also, again, I mean, he's saying, emphasizing on it, that everything we study, we have to like understand it practically, right? We should be able to use it in our daily lives. And I remember a small incident that he was telling. So he was saying that one time, people who live in Devghar, so Devghar is where the ashram of satsang is currently, and Acharya Dev mostly lives there. And so they were organizing a picnic kind of thing. They call it Van Bhojan, it's like essentially a picnic. And so there are many people who live in satsang, and they all were planning to go to a place and do this picnic kind of thing. And because so many people are going, so they needed water for washing hands, drinking, and so on. So what they did was they took a huge, so on like a small truck, on back of it, they took this like tank, which might see like on top of some houses that we might see, right? These big tanks. And the tank had a small tap at the bottom. So you can open the tap and it will like, and they can use it. But what happened is when they put the tank in the truck, before leaving, the people who put it there, they put it empty and then they filled the water on the tank and then they took it. But how it happened is that the back of the truck is a bit long and the tank was pushed fully inside, right? So when they reached there, now the tank is heavy because it's not completely full, right? And so if they open the tap, it just falls inside the truck. And it's not very easy to wash hands, and even if they wash hands, the dirty water just collects in the truck itself. And they were trying to push it back, and like lots of people were trying, and they were unsuccessful. And then Acharya said that I had this idea that from like what I read in high school physics. So he told them that what you do is you start reversing the truck, and he told two people to go stand on the truck and when he says brake, then while reversing you brake the truck, and at the same time the people standing there you push it back. So simultaneously. And it started reversing and got some pace, and then he started to set to brake, and at the same time those people pushed. So, and then within a couple of pushes it came back. And then Acharya was saying, this is just simple applications of this law of inertia that we read in school, right? Because the truck was moving back, and when it got the brake, the tank wants to move back. And with a small push, it just came back. Now I'm telling this incident, and he was telling this incident because he was saying that, I mean, we all read many things in school, but if we try to understand everything in a very practical way, like we understand in a way that we can use it, then our education will be, like we'll understand everything properly and education will complete. And we won't have issues with exams. But if we try to like memorize things, then it won't work out. So this is a small advice that he gave to the students, some of the students that came to him. And similarly, I mean, to every aspect of our life, he gives so many valuable advice. And more importantly, his own life, right? He lives, and the way he acts, the way he interacts with everyone. He tries to implement all these things in his own personality and character. Right? And that's why his advice is effective, right? If we say things that we don't do ourselves. I mean, most people don't listen to it. It's like it just has no effect. There's this, on that note, I mean, there's this famous incident of Prophet Muhammad that comes to my mind. And that one time a mother took her this child to Prophet Muhammad, and the child used to eat a lot of sweets. And the mother always asked the child to stop, but he would never do it. And he took to Prophet Muhammad and said, "Oh, can you please tell him to stop eating sweets? He eats so much sweets." But he said that, uh, "You come back 1 month later, I will tell him." And he just sent them away. And then 1 month later, the mother came with her child again and asked the same thing. And Prophet Muhammad said, "Hey child, you shouldn't eat so much sweets because it's not good for your health." And so now, with only this much, he said. And then the mom was like, "If you ever just gonna say this, why didn't you say it 1 month ago?" Like she was very curious. And then he replied that 1 month ago I was eating a lot of sweets, and if I said it that you shouldn't eat sweet, it wouldn't be true, right? And so that's why I didn't say it to him then. Now I myself stopped eating sweets. I don't eat that much, and that's why I was able to give that advice. So similarly, I mean, Acharya Deva Thakur, whatever he is saying in those books and whatever we are reading, so it is, that's why it's very effective, because they were like the living embodiment of those principles. And whatever we read from those books, I mean, if we see them, we'll feel the exact same way. And that's why many people get inspired, and we all um, love him and get inspired by him. That's all I will say. Thank you, everyone, and it's very nice to see you all.
Thank you.
Jai Hind.
Jai Guru.